I'm a Boy Scout of America. I want to tell you about the U.S. national debt. It's growing at $4.1 billion a day. You may know how much money that is? Like a little bit more than what your parents make a year? A little bit. Unbelievable. Okay, $4.1 billion a day. Down there we had a conversation with a few of you. Do you remember the answer? Whose was this one again? 4.1. Yeah, there you are. Do you remember the answer? How many days does it take to reach Utah's total yearly budget? 3 days. $12.3 billion is our yearly budget. The national debt increases $4.1 billion a day. Okay? So it's a good thing to be paying attention to. Recognize the concern. It's almost $16 trillion in debt right now. We needed the country to get out of debt, or we will never get out of debt. Where are you? You're Mr. Wilcox. I'm a Boy Scout trying to earn my Eagle Scout. The concern I want to talk about today are the rising gas prices. If there's anything in your power you can do to lower the gas prices, please write back. Okay, that was from Preston Snyder. Dear Ryan Wilcox, since Obama is the president, the gas prices have gone up 94%. My family's had to spend more money on gas than on other things. What I hope you can do is to lower the prices of gas so my family can spend less on gas and more on important things. This is good. I had like 4 or 5 options. There we go. Dear Senator. No, I'm not a senator. We'll help you get there right. Yeah. I think that we need to use the Olympic stadiums again and again because they've already been built and you should. And why should you use something why should you not use something you already have? Why should you waste money on something we already have? Make it so Utah gets the Olympics again. Next part. Is there any more I missed? Did you hand it to me? No? Okay. I spent the last 3 hours of my day today in this room at this table. Anybody know why? Let me guess. More tours? No, it's not a tour. No, these are much more fun than being at this table. Actually, it was pretty fun because I won on both of them. Yeah. How to get more money. How to spend it wisely. How to spend it back. Okay, yeah. Both of them relate to that issue. Okay. Voting on a bill. What do you think you do when you're sitting at this table? Why is this table here and you have these ones up here? So this is the one where you're proposing a bill, testifying about a bill, right? And these guys up here get to do what? Look at you and make you embarrassed. Good. Good answer. Okay? What do you think they do up here? They vote on it. You wanted to answer that, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do today is you guys are going to choose some of your representatives. And we're going to write a bill. And you're going to have to testify. And we're going to vote on it. We're going to see where it goes. So we have some ideas here. Right? We have 2 concerns about gas prices. We've got the national debt we can address. We've got the Olympics coming back to the state of Utah. Is there anything else? Last group was really good here, so no pressure.
The last one, the only one that you have a whole lot of say in.
This is the last one?
The first 3 sound like they're more federal. They're not really, you don't have a lot to them.
The federal debt? Yeah, that's hard. Because like I said, even if we gave them everything the state of Utah has, we covered 3 days of the increase. It's not going to make much of a dent. Okay? Okay? That was hard, right? But this is normal. These are the sort of issues that get brought before us all the time. Okay? What else? Oil prices? Yes. Is that likely to be impacted by Utah?
Only if we can tap our own reserves.
If we can tap our own reserves and we can increase supply, right? Can we do it enough to really impact the price? hard to argue.
What about getting everything converted to natural gas?
Okay, this is more realistic.
Yeah.
Utah has one of the largest reserves of natural gas in the nation, and it's largely untapped.
So if we come up with a bill that makes people, well, car companies or stuff like that to convert to natural gas.
What's the real issue from the gas prices? That my family can't spend what they need to on the things that they really need because they have to spend it on gas, right? So if Utah is in a situation where we happen to have an extremely large reserve of natural gas, and we could get that to our citizens cheaper than maybe being dependent upon foreign sources of energy, could that impact our families in the way that we're really concerned about the gas price? Has the potential, right? Okay? Anything else? Any other subjects that you guys are wanting to talk about? You have one?
I have one, but it has to do with the, they're wanting to drill down south, but the pollution will remove the petroglyphs.
Okay. You're talking about the oil leases that were canceled on the east side of the state?
Yeah.
Because they were close to petroglyphs and national parks and things?
Yeah.
Okay, that's directly related to what we're talking about. And they were actually in, by the way, we're in the natural resources room. So this is where we hold natural resources, agriculture, and environment. And I sit on a nuclear right over there. So that's, we talked nuclear power,
More money for education.
More money for education. This room is one is natural resources, agriculture, and environment. Second one is education committee. So all the big education debates start in this room. And the third one is the reason I'm here today, which is revenue and tax. Revenue tax, we call it. Related to reduction of school hours and homework, say aye. Aye. Okay? All those in favor of energy policy, specifically natural gas exploration and development, say aye. Aye. The adults, okay? What was the third one?
That was me.
Education funding. Which could be tied to that.
Yeah, but certainly don't have today. They don't need much money.
Okay. Education funding. I'll discuss education funding. Say aye. Aye. Yeah, I'm going to rule that that one was eliminated by comparison. At least it wasn't as exciting of a response. Okay, back to reducing school hours and homework. Say aye. Aye. Okay? Energy development, specifically natural gas. Aye. Aye. All right, we're gonna have to have you raise your hand because that was too close. So what we okay on the floor when this happens, this happens. Okay. On the floor when this happens, we go by voice vote. If somebody stands up and calls for it, and that means that we each have to vote specifically on that, and we hit a little button. In this case, I'm going to make you stand. All those in favor, you only can choose one, by the way. And I'm pretty sure I fucking double vote. Okay. Education, the education issue. Please stand. Less school hours and less homework. 1, 2, 3, 29-ish, okay? The other bill, the energy development setup. You guys got me pretty bad. But obviously you were much louder for your quantity. Okay, the next part is we have what's called a representative republic. Right? What does that mean? Who can tell me what a representative republic means?
Is that those people of our state vote on representatives that represent them in the legislature?
Right. So we do not have, we get talked about democracy a lot in the United States. We talk about it a lot. But we don't actually have a pure democracy. Right? We have a representative republic. Okay, which means that we elect representatives and then they vote on our behalf at the Capitol. Do they always do what we want them to do? No. We're always going to disagree because, Even though I really like you, sometimes it's just going to be that way, right? I'm just going to disagree. We try our best to represent our districts that we're from, but sometimes we don't always agree on anything. Okay, so in a representative republic, we elect our representatives. So each row is a district. Each row is a district. Each row will elect a representative and send them to me to be in the legislature. So talk amongst yourselves the next minute. Okay, once I have a representative from each row, including the side row, go ahead and come up and take your place. Someone would like to volunteer. Come on, buddy. All the way up here. All the way up here. Okay. Now we have each of the legislators, and actually some of you technically would be staff if we were attorneys and secretaries and stuff correctly. It's going to be really important. So we have to, but you guys need to be really careful with the actual equipment. Okay. So no mics or don't play with the mic. Yeah, don't play with the mic. None of those things. Okay, don't touch any of that equipment right there. There we go. Okay. So we have a proposal on the table, but what are we missing? Missing the sponsor of the legislation. Right? So I think we have a good sponsor of the legislation who originally proposed the idea for our bill. Who originally proposed the idea? We had one that proposed the idea of having less school. We had another one that proposed the idea of less homework, right? We combined those. So less school is right here, right? Do less school. Yeah, will you take your place at the table?
Right here, man. Right here.
Huh? We have our assistants bring one more copy of the instruction book. We have our two bill sponsors at the table. Okay, you notice that each of our representatives have an instruction manual in front of them. What does that instruction manual say? Okay, by the way, so everybody understands around the table, got all our representatives paying attention? Okay, guys, you guys will notice that there's a button in front of you that says Mic Active, and then below it there's a button that says Request to Speak. Can everybody see that, Request to Speak? Okay, if when anybody wants to speak during a committee hearing, you hit that button, and then it starts lighting up my screen, so I know that you want to speak. Okay? So nobody speaks out of turn, we don't raise hands, you just hit that button and then I'll call on you. Okay? Okay, so we're gonna do this then. Okay, so we have an instruction manual. Does everybody see that in front of you? Does everybody get one? What is it? Who can tell me what this is? I'm sorry, I don't recognize any lights flashing. Okay, I've got the light said, if your mic just went green, that means it's your turn to speak.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States. What did that do? Why is that in the instruction manual? Yeah.
Because it's how it used to work. Archive.
Remember when we were in the Supreme Court and we looked up at the different symbols and we saw the field of justice on one side and we saw the law on the other side? This is our starting point for the law, Constitution. Okay, so every law we pass, if it's not constitutional, then it's subject to being thrown out by the Supreme Court. Right? So we have an oath as a representative to follow the Constitution. Okay, so that's why you have that in front of you. Okay, so we have a bill before us we have a bill before us this evening. Those of you who are still flashing, please hit your buttons again so that it turns off. Thank you. Okay. Would you please state your name, or our witnesses please state their names for the record. I'm sorry, say again?
Chandler Clark.
Try it again, Chandler.
It works now.
Now we can hear you.
Chandler Clark.
Chandler Clark, okay, and?
Nathan Reynolds.
Nathan Reynolds. So we got Nathan and Chandler. Okay, Mr. Reynolds, I believe it was your idea to reduce homework.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you. Would you like to also be a co-sponsor? Okay, go ahead. Take a seat at the table. Usually we know who the sponsors are before we get to committee. This works. Okay. Now committee, I'll give you some instructions before we turn the time over to our sponsors. And that is, it's our job to, number one, determine if the proposal is constitutional, and number two, if it's worthy to be passed on to the rest of the legislature. If we think it's a good idea. And if it is, then we'll vote on it and we'll pass it out. If it's not, then we're going to kill it. Okay? Sometimes that can be fun too. Okay. Okay, so we're going to give, for right now, we're going to give opportunity for each witness to present their idea for the new bill, what it should look like, and what it should, what they think it should be. So the time is yours. Let's see, we have Mr. Reynolds, Mr. Chandler.
I haven't introduced myself yet.
Go ahead, please.
Logan Snyder.
Snyder. What, Chandler, what was your last name?
Clark.
Clark, that's right. Mr. Reynolds, Mr. Clark, Mr. Snyder. Okay, we'll start with Mr. Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, what would you propose for the committee today?
That there should be like school hours in the morning, that we should start later in the day.
Okay, start later in the day. With Mr. Clark?
Mine was 4 less hours of school after, like start at maybe the usual time and then end at least 2 o'clock.
Do you guys need to go work out what you want the bill to be before we start? Do you want it to start at the same time or do you want it to start later? Why don't you two confer on that offline while we turn to this side? Are we ready?
I think.
Okay, Mr. Snyder?
Probably start about 9:30 and 10.
9:30, 10 o'clock? Which would you
And
prefer?
then 9:30, something.
At 9:30, okay. And wasn't there a second part to your bill that you wanted to focus on?
Less homework.
What's homework? How much homework do you have right now?
About 9 pages or something like that. That much, but I think it is too much.
Too much. Okay, so Mr. Reynolds, would you summarize your proposal for the committee, please?